15 Black legends whose lives changed forever after losing their partners. What if the greatest heartbreaks in Black entertainment history happened long after the cameras stopped rolling behind the legendary voices, unforgettable performances, and worldwide fame? Were deeply personal stories of love, devastating loss, and lives that changed forever. Today, we are uncovering the emotional journeys of Black icons who faced unimaginable grief after losing the people they loved most, and how those moments shaped their legacies forever. Some stories may surprise you, while others will leave you seeing these legends in a completely different light. Before we begin, let us know in the comments which Black legend has inspired you the most. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for golden Black legends so you never miss another unforgettable story. Harry Belafonte. Harry Belafonte's life was defined by extraordinary achievement, but behind the applause and international recognition stood a man who understood both the rewards and sacrifices of enduring love. Rising to worldwide fame during the 1950s with timeless classics like Day-O, the Banana Boat Song, Jamaica Farewell, and Island in the Sun, Belafonte became one of the first Black entertainers to achieve global superstardom. He sold millions of records, won Grammy, Emmy, and Tony Awards, and later received an honorary Academy Award for his humanitarian work. Yet despite those remarkable accomplishments, he often acknowledged that the most meaningful moments in his life happened far away from the spotlight, surrounded by family and those he loved. Throughout his lifetime, Belafonte experienced both joy and heartbreak in his personal relationships. His final marriage to photographer Pamela Frank, whom he married in 2008 after years together, brought stability and companionship during the closing chapter of his life. Pamela remained by his side as advancing age gradually limited his public appearances. Friends frequently described their relationship as one built on mutual respect, patience, and shared values rather than celebrity glamour. After decades spent balancing music, film, political activism, and constant travel, Belafonte treasured the peace he found at home with the woman who supported him through his later years. Even as his health declined, Belafonte never abandoned the causes he believed in. He continued advocating for civil rights, humanitarian efforts, and social justice, while reflecting on a lifetime dedicated to creating positive change. When he passed away on April 25, 2023 at the age of 96, tributes celebrated not only an entertainment legend, but also a husband whose later years were enriched by unwavering companionship. Harry Belafonte's story reminds us that life can change dramatically after finding or losing the people who matter most. His greatest legacy extends beyond record-breaking music and historic activism. It also lives in the lasting relationships that sustained him through triumph, hardship, and the quiet moments that fame could never replace. Diahann Carroll. Diahann Carroll broke barriers throughout her extraordinary career, becoming one of the first Black women to lead a successful television drama with Julia and later earning acclaim in film, theater, and music. Elegant, intelligent, and fiercely independent, she inspired generations of performers while navigating an industry that often offered few opportunities for Black actresses. Yet behind her polished public image was a woman who experienced both great happiness and heartbreaking loss. Among the most painful chapters of her personal life was the death of her second husband, magazine editor Robert De Leon, whose sudden passing changed the course of her life forever. Carroll married De Leon in 1973, and together they built a relationship grounded in mutual admiration and intellectual companionship. Unlike the intense public attention that surrounded many celebrity marriages, theirs remained relatively private. That sense of stability came to a devastating end in 1977 when De Leon died in a tragic automobile accident at only 39 years old. His unexpected death left Carroll grieving while continuing to meet the demanding expectations of a successful entertainment career. She later acknowledged that balancing public responsibilities with private sorrow became one of the greatest emotional challenges she had ever faced. Although Carol eventually continued acting and accepted major roles in productions such as Dynasty, she never suggested that success erased personal loss. Instead, she focused on raising her daughter, pursuing meaningful work, and maintaining the resilience that had defined her entire career. Friends often described her as someone who carried grief with quiet dignity rather than public drama, choosing to honor De Leon's memory through perseverance instead of retreat. When Diane Carroll passed away in 2019 at the age of 84 after battling breast cancer for many years, she left behind far more than an extraordinary acting legacy. Her story reminds us that even history-making performers face the same heartbreak experienced by countless families around the world. Though she achieved remarkable professional milestones, the loss of Robert De Leon remained one of the defining emotional moments of her life, proving that love and loss often shape a person's legacy just as deeply as fame itself. Coretta Scott King. Coretta Scott King is remembered not only as the wife of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., but also as one of America's most influential civil rights leaders in her own right. Before meeting Martin, she dreamed of becoming a professional singer after studying music at the New England Conservatory. Instead, she found herself standing beside one of history's greatest advocates for justice. Together, they built a family while leading a movement that transformed the United States. Yet everything changed forever on April 4, 1968, when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated in Memphis at just 39 years old, leaving Coretta widowed with 4 young children. The devastating loss could have ended her public life, but Coretta chose another path. Only days after the assassination, she courageously led a march in Memphis that Martin had planned before his death. Rather than retreating from the spotlight, she dedicated herself to preserving his vision of equality, nonviolence, and human dignity. She later founded the King Center in Atlanta, ensuring that future generations would understand both her husband's work and the continuing struggle for civil rights. Carrying that responsibility while raising her children required extraordinary strength and determination. Although many admired her public courage, those closest to Coretta understood the loneliness she carried after losing her life partner. She rarely spoke dramatically about her grief, but her speeches and writings revealed the lasting emotional impact of Martin's absence. Despite opportunities to step away from public life, she remained committed to the causes they had shared together, believing that continuing his mission was the greatest way to honor his memory. When Coretta Scott King passed away in 2006 at the age of 78, she left behind an enduring legacy that reached far beyond her role as a supportive spouse. Her life demonstrates that losing a partner can forever alter a person's path while also revealing remarkable inner strength. Through unimaginable grief, she transformed personal tragedy into decades of leadership, ensuring that both her husband's dream and her own contributions would continue inspiring the world. James Earl Jones. James Earl Jones possessed one of the most recognizable voices in entertainment history, captivating audiences through unforgettable performances on stage, film, and television. Whether portraying Mufasa in The Lion King, lending his voice to Darth Vader in Star Wars, or delivering powerful Shakespearean performances, Jones built a career that spanned more than 6 decades. Behind those extraordinary achievements stood a deeply private man whose greatest source of happiness was his marriage to actress Cecilia Hart, the woman who shared his life for more than 30 years. James and Cecilia married in 1982 after meeting while working in theater. Their relationship remained remarkably stable despite the pressures of demanding acting careers, and together they raised their son, Flynn. Friends often described them as a devoted couple who valued family life above Hollywood glamour. Their peaceful life changed dramatically in 2016 when Cecilia passed away from ovarian cancer at the age of 68. Her death left an enormous void in Jones's life, ending a partnership that had provided him with unwavering love and support through decades of professional success. Following Cecilia's passing, Jones gradually reduced his public appearances while continuing selected voice work and stage projects. Although he rarely discussed his grief publicly, those close to him noted that he became even more private during his later years. Rather than allowing sorrow to overshadow his accomplishments, he quietly honored Cecilia by continuing the work they both loved while remaining devoted to their family. When James Earl Jones passed away in 2024 at the age of 93, tributes celebrated one of the greatest actors of his generation. Yet beyond his remarkable artistic achievements, his story also reflected the enduring power of lifelong companionship. Losing Cecilia permanently changed the final chapter of his life, reminding us that even the strongest voices can be profoundly shaped by the quiet absence of the person they loved most. Ruby Dee. Ruby Dee's remarkable career made her one of the most respected actresses in American history, but perhaps her greatest partnership existed beyond the stage and screen. Together with fellow actor Ossie Davis, she formed one of Hollywood's most admired marriages, sharing more than 5 decades of love, artistic collaboration, and civil rights activism. They appeared together in numerous films, plays, and public events, becoming symbols of commitment, dignity, and mutual respect. Their relationship inspired generations who admired not only their talent but also the deep bond they maintained through changing times. Ruby and Ossie married in 1948 and remained together for nearly 57 years. Throughout their marriage, they balanced demanding careers with raising a family while actively supporting the civil rights movement alongside leaders such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X. Their partnership extended beyond romance into every aspect of their professional and personal lives, making them one of the entertainment industry's most enduring couples. Because they accomplished so much together, many people found it difficult to imagine one without the other. Everything changed on February 4, 2005, when Ossie Davis died unexpectedly at the age of 87. Ruby later spoke openly about the overwhelming emptiness she experienced after losing the man who had been her closest friend, creative partner, and greatest supporter for more than half a century. Although she continued acting and accepted acclaimed roles, including in American Gangster, friends observed that the absence of Ossie remained deeply felt throughout her remaining years. Ruby Dee passed away in 2014 at the age of 91, leaving behind an extraordinary artistic and humanitarian legacy. Her life demonstrates that true partnership can enrich every chapter of a person's journey while making loss especially profound. Even after Ossie's passing, Ruby continued honoring the values they had shared together, proving that genuine love does not end with death but lives on through memory, purpose, and the enduring impact two people leave on the world together. Myrlie Evers Williams. Myrlie Evers Williams became one of the strongest voices for justice after losing the love of her life, civil rights leader Medgar Evers. Before tragedy struck, the couple worked side by side in Mississippi during one of the most dangerous periods of the civil rights movement. Medgar served as the NAACP's first field secretary in Mississippi, while Myrlie managed the family-raised their children and quietly supported his demanding work. Together, they faced constant threats, harassment, and violence because of their commitment to racial equality. Despite living under daily danger, they believed their sacrifices would help create a better future for the next generation. Everything changed on the night of June 12, 1963, when Medgar Evers was assassinated outside their home in Jackson, Mississippi. Myrlie rushed to his side after hearing the gunshots, but despite desperate efforts to save him, he died shortly afterward at only 37 years old. Instead of allowing grief to consume her, Myrlie transformed unimaginable loss into lifelong determination. She dedicated decades to preserving Medgar's legacy while continuing the fight for civil rights, believing that abandoning their shared mission would mean allowing hatred to prevail. Over the following years, Mirli became an accomplished author, lecturer, and national leader. She played a critical role in reopening the investigation into her husband's murder, helping secure the 1994 conviction of white supremacist Byron Della Beckwith more than 30 years after the crime. Later, she served as chairwoman of the NAACP, becoming one of the organization's most respected leaders. Every achievement reflected both her own determination and the values she had shared with Medgar throughout their marriage. Mirli Evers Williams never allowed the loss of her husband to define her solely through sorrow. Instead, she transformed personal heartbreak into a lifelong commitment to justice, education, and equality. Her journey reminds us that losing a life partner can permanently change a person's future, yet courage and purpose can emerge even from life's deepest tragedies. Today, her legacy stands beside Medgar's as one of resilience, dignity, and unwavering hope. Sammy Davis Jr. Sammy Davis Jr. dazzled audiences as one of the most versatile entertainers of the 20th century. A gifted singer-dancer, comedian, actor, and member of the legendary Rat Pack, alongside Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin, he broke racial barriers while entertaining millions around the world. Yet behind the glamour of Las Vegas stages and Hollywood premieres stood a man whose greatest comfort came from family. His marriage to dancer and actress Alto Weiss Davis became one of the most important relationships of his later life, providing stability amid the extraordinary demands of fame. Sammy and Altovise married in 1970 after years of professional success and public attention. Together, they adopted a son and built a life that balanced entertainment with family responsibilities. Like many celebrity marriages, theirs faced challenges including Sammy's relentless touring schedule, financial pressures, and health concerns. Even so, Altovise remained one of his strongest supporters throughout his later career. Their partnership endured despite the intense spotlight that constantly surrounded one of America's most recognizable performers. During the late 1980s, Sammy's health declined after he was diagnosed with throat cancer. Determined to continue performing for as long as possible, he underwent treatment while remaining devoted to his craft. On May 16, 1990, Sammy Davis Jr. passed away at the age of 64. Altovise faced the enormous challenge of continuing life without the man who had shared both her personal and professional journey for 2 decades. She continued preserving his legacy until her own passing in 2009, ensuring that Sammy's contributions to American entertainment would never be forgotten. Sammy Davis Jr.'s story reminds us that even performers surrounded by applause can find their greatest strength in the quiet support of a loving partner. His legacy extends beyond music and comedy to include perseverance, resilience, and the enduring importance of family. Though fame brought extraordinary success, the relationships he cherished remained the foundation that carried him through both triumph and adversity. Gladys Knight Gladys Knight has earned worldwide admiration as the Empress of Soul, captivating audiences for more than 6 decades with timeless classics including Midnight Train to Georgia, Neither One of Us, and If I Were Your Woman. While her extraordinary voice brought her international success, her personal life also reflected the joys and challenges experienced by many families. Throughout her lifetime, Knight experienced several marriages, each representing different chapters of growth, resilience, and self-discovery. Rather than allowing personal setbacks to define her, she consistently focused on faith, family, and moving forward with dignity. Among the most significant relationships in her later life was her marriage to William McDowell, whom she married in 2001. Their partnership brought stability and companionship after years of balancing demanding careers with family responsibilities. Together, they embraced a quieter lifestyle centered on shared faith and mutual support. Knight has often spoken about the importance of emotional maturity, forgiveness, and learning from previous relationships rather than dwelling on past disappointments. Her perspective reflects decades of personal experience and remarkable resilience. Although Gladys has fortunately not experienced the loss of her current spouse, she has spoken openly about how family losses, personal hardships, and life's inevitable changes have reshaped her priorities, rather than measuring success solely through awards or record sales. She emphasizes the importance of meaningful relationships and gratitude for every stage of life. Her enduring optimism has inspired generations of fans who admire both her music and her unwavering strength. Gladys Knight's journey demonstrates that lasting love is built through patience, commitment, and shared purpose. Her story reminds us that life continually changes through both joyful and difficult moments, and the people who stand beside us often become our greatest source of strength. As one of music's most beloved legends, she continues proving that genuine grace extends far beyond the stage and into every aspect of a meaningful life. Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier changed the history of American cinema by becoming the first black actor to win the Academy Award for Best Actor for Lilies of the Field in 1964. Throughout a remarkable career spanning more than 5 decades, he redefined how black actors were represented on screen, appearing in classics such as In the Heat of the Night, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, and The Defiant Ones. Yet beyond his groundbreaking achievements, Poitier treasured the stability he found with his second wife, Canadian actress Joanna Shimkus, whom he married in 1976. Their marriage lasted more than 45 years and became one of Hollywood's most enduring partnerships. Together, they raised a family while successfully balancing demanding careers and private life away from the constant glare of celebrity culture. Unlike many famous couples, Sidney and Joanna rarely sought publicity for their relationship, preferring to build their marriage on mutual respect, shared values, and quiet companionship. Friends often described their home life as peaceful, despite Sidney's international fame. During his later years, Poitier gradually stepped away from acting while enjoying time with Joanna and their family. His health slowly declined as he entered his 90s, and Joanna remained faithfully by his side throughout those years. When Sidney Poitier passed away on January 6, 2022 at the age of 94, tributes celebrated not only an extraordinary actor, but also a devoted husband, whose marriage had become a model of lasting commitment. Joanna's presence throughout his final chapter reflected the enduring partnership they had carefully built over decades. Sidney Poitier's story reminds us that true greatness extends beyond awards and historic achievements. While he transformed Hollywood forever, he also demonstrated the importance of loyalty, humility, and enduring love. His life illustrates how a strong partnership can provide comfort through every season, from the excitement of worldwide fame to the quiet reflections of later life. Betty Shabazz. Betty Shabaz's life changed forever on February 21, 1965, when her husband Malcolm X was assassinated while delivering a speech at the Audubon Ballroom in New York City. At just 28 years old, Betty suddenly became a widow while pregnant with twin daughters and responsible for raising 6 children alone. The unimaginable tragedy transformed her life overnight, yet it also revealed extraordinary courage. Instead of allowing grief to silence her, Betty dedicated herself to preserving Malcolm's legacy while building a meaningful future for their family. Before Malcolm's assassination, Betty had already demonstrated remarkable strength. Trained as a nurse and deeply committed to education, she supported Malcolm throughout years of activism, despite constant threats against their family. Their marriage was built on shared convictions, mutual respect, and an unwavering belief in justice. Losing Malcolm meant not only losing a husband, but also losing the partner with whom she had envisioned an entire future. Determined to provide stability for her children, Betty pursued higher education and eventually earned a doctorate in education. She became a respected educator, public speaker, and advocate for civil rights, inspiring countless people through her dignity and perseverance. Although she rarely spoke publicly about her private grief, her actions reflected an enduring commitment to the ideals she and Malcolm had shared together. she transformed personal tragedy into a life devoted to service, education, and community leadership. Betty Shabazz passed away in 1997 at the age of 63 following injuries sustained in a house fire. Her life remains one of extraordinary resilience and quiet strength. Losing her life partner permanently altered her future, but it never diminished her determination to honor Malcolm's memory through compassion, education, and unwavering commitment to justice. Her legacy continues, reminding us that even after devastating loss, courage can inspire generations yet to come. Lena Horne. Lena Horne was far more than a legendary singer and actress. She became a symbol of elegance, resilience, and determination during an era when racial discrimination limited opportunities for Black performers in Hollywood. Through unforgettable performances in films such as Stormy Weather and a remarkable recording career, Horne inspired generations with both her extraordinary talent and unwavering dignity. Behind the spotlight, however, the most important relationship in her life was her marriage to composer and conductor Lenny Hayton, a partnership that defied social prejudice during the 1940s and endured for more than 2 decades. When Lena married Hayton in 1947, interracial marriage remained deeply controversial in much of the United States. The couple faced criticism from both the public and members of their own communities, yet they remained devoted to one another despite the enormous social pressure surrounding their relationship. Hayton became not only her husband, but also an important professional supporter, encouraging her career while understanding the unique challenges she faced as a Black entertainer working in Hollywood. Hayton passed away in 1971 after suffering a heart attack, leaving Lena devastated after nearly 24 years of marriage. Friends recalled that she threw herself into her work while privately mourning the loss of the man who had shared both her triumphs and struggles. Although she continued performing and remained active in entertainment and civil rights causes, those closest to her observed that his absence permanently changed her outlook on life. She never remarried, choosing instead to preserve the memories of the life they had built together. Lena Horne passed away in 2010 at the age of 92, leaving behind one of the greatest legacies in American entertainment. Her story reminds us that even history-making performers are deeply shaped by the people they love. While audiences celebrated her remarkable voice and groundbreaking achievements, the loss of Lenny Hayton remained one of the defining emotional chapters of her life, proving that genuine love often leaves a lasting imprint that neither fame nor time can erase. Cicely Tyson. Cicely Tyson built one of the most respected careers in American entertainment by portraying strong, dignified Black women with extraordinary authenticity. During a career spanning more than 7 decades, she earned Emmy Awards, a Tony Award, an Honorary Academy Award, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Yet beyond her remarkable professional achievements, Tyson's personal life included one deeply significant relationship with jazz legend Miles Davis, whose influence remained part of her story long after their marriage ended. Tyson and Davis first met in the late 1960s before marrying in 1981. Their relationship reflected both intense love and enormous challenges, as Miles struggled with addiction and serious health problems. Tyson became one of the strongest influences, encouraging him to seek recovery, helping him rebuild both his health and his career during the early 1980s. Although their marriage ended in divorce in 1988, they maintained mutual respect, and Tyson later acknowledged that Miles remained an important part of her life despite their separation. When Miles Davis died in 1991 at the age of 65, Tyson expressed profound sadness over the loss of the man she had once hoped to grow old with. Rather than focusing on regret, she chose to remember his extraordinary musical genius while continuing her own career with renewed purpose. She rarely allowed personal sorrow to dominate public interviews, preferring instead to celebrate the lessons their relationship had taught her about forgiveness, resilience, and compassion. Until her passing in 2021, at the age of 96, Cicely Tyson remained an inspiration through both her artistic excellence and personal grace. Her story demonstrates that love can continue shaping a person's life even after relationships end. The memories she shared with Miles Davis became one chapter within an extraordinary life dedicated to excellence, dignity, and creating opportunities for future generations of Black artists. Nina Simone. Nina Simone possessed one of the most distinctive voices in music history, blending jazz, blues, gospel, and classical influences into unforgettable songs such as Feeling Good, I Put a Spell on You, and Mississippi Goddam. Beyond her remarkable musical achievements, she became one of the most powerful voices of the civil rights movement, using her art to challenge injustice and inspire change. Her personal life, however, was often complicated by emotional struggles and a difficult marriage to Andrew Stroud, a former police officer who also became her manager. The couple married in 1961, and Stroud played a significant role in managing Nina's rapidly growing career. While he helped negotiate important business opportunities, their marriage gradually became troubled. Simone later described the relationship as controlling and emotionally painful, alleging that she experienced physical abuse during the marriage. They divorced in the early 1970s, ending a relationship that had deeply affected both her personal happiness and her artistic journey. When Andrew Stroud passed away in 2017, Simone herself had already been gone for 14 years. She had died in 2003 after battling breast cancer while living in France. Because of that timeline, it would be historically inaccurate to suggest that she experienced life after his death. Instead, her later years were shaped by reflection, declining health, and continued recognition for her immense contributions to music and civil rights. Her legacy remains defined by artistic courage rather than the hardships of her marriage alone. Nina Simone's story reminds us that extraordinary talent often exists alongside profound personal challenges. While love brought both companionship and pain, it never diminished her determination to create music that changed history. Today, she is remembered as an artist whose voice continues speaking to new generations about freedom, justice, and the resilience of the human spirit. Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston remains one of the greatest vocalists in modern music history, selling more than 220 million records worldwide and leaving behind timeless classics including I Will Always Love You, Greatest Love of All, and I Have Nothing. Her remarkable talent earned countless awards and worldwide admiration, yet her personal life frequently became the subject of public attention. Her marriage to Bobby Brown represented one of the most discussed celebrity relationships of the 1990s, bringing both deep affection and significant personal struggles. Whitney and Bobby married in 1992 and welcomed their daughter Bobby Christina Brown the following year. Throughout their 15-year marriage, they faced intense media scrutiny, substance abuse problems, and repeated public speculation about their relationship. Although the marriage ended in divorce in 2007, Whitney later acknowledged that both she and Bobby had contributed to the difficulties they experienced. Despite their separation, they remained connected through their daughter and their shared history. Whitney passed away on February 11, 2012 at the age of 48. A full decade before Bobby Brown's eventual passing did not occur. Bobby Brown is still living. Therefore, any story claiming Whitney mourned Bobby's death is entirely false. Instead, the true story is one of a gifted artist striving to rebuild her life after divorce while continuing to care deeply about her family. Her final years reflected both personal challenges and continuing hope for a new beginning. Whitney Houston's legacy should be remembered through verified history rather than sensational myths. Her life demonstrates that even extraordinary fame cannot protect someone from personal hardship, yet her voice continues inspiring millions around the world. More than a decade after her passing, Whitney remains an enduring symbol of musical excellence, emotional honesty, and timeless artistry. Ossie Davis. Ossie Davis earned widespread respect as an accomplished actor, playwright, director, and civil rights activist whose career spanned more than 6 decades. While audiences admired his performances in films such as Do the Right Thing and Grumpy Old Men, those who knew him best often spoke first about his extraordinary partnership with actress Ruby Dee. Married in 1948, the couple became one of the most admired marriages in American entertainment, sharing nearly 57 years together while balancing family life, successful careers, and unwavering commitment to the civil rights movement. Throughout their marriage, Ossie and Ruby worked side by side in theater, film, and public service. They stood alongside leaders including Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X while using their fame to advocate for equality and justice. Their relationship was built on mutual respect, shared purpose, and genuine friendship qualities that made them role models both within and beyond the entertainment industry. Unlike many celebrity couples, they rarely relied on publicity, allowing their actions to speak louder than headlines. On February 4, 2005, Ossie Davis passed away unexpectedly at the age of 87 while attending a film festival in Florida. His death deeply affected Ruby Dee, who later described the overwhelming emptiness she felt after losing the person who had been her closest friend and creative partner for more than half a century. Although she continued acting and received critical acclaim for later performances, she often acknowledged that life without Ossie was profoundly different. Ossie Davis left behind an extraordinary legacy defined by artistic excellence, social activism, and enduring love. His story demonstrates that true greatness is measured not only through remarkable accomplishments, but also through the relationships that enrich a lifetime. Together, Ossie Davis and Ruby Dee remain one of the most inspiring couples in American cultural history, proving that love, shared values, and commitment can leave a legacy that continues long after both partners are gone. As we come to the end of today's journey, one question still remains: which story moved you the most? These remarkable Black legends achieved extraordinary success, but behind every headline was a deeply personal story of love, heartbreak, resilience, and hope. Some found the strength to rebuild after devastating loss, while others carried the memory of their partners for the rest of their lives. Their experiences remind us that even the greatest icons face the same emotions we all do. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so leave a comment below and tell us which story touched your heart the most. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for Golden Black Legends so you never miss another unforgettable story.